What's up, guys? I just helped this brand owner scale his brand to $10,000 in a day consistently, and today I want to break down specifically how he got there in terms of scripting ads. Okay, so this is going to be a very specific ad scripting video, VSL scripting video. However, what ad concept you want to make doesn't really matter, because there's different levels of skills that are required to get to, this really disgusting levels of scale. And this is kind of what I want to share with you guys. Okay, so the thing is here, obviously you have, the first thing I want to talk about is how you can really structure your ads overall. And this is the very raw structure. However, I'm gonna break down when to do what and when to apply what, because I think that this is something which is, not talked about enough. So obviously you have the hook, and then after the hook, you get into the body, and the body can basically be broken down into story, problem, solution, product, offer, and then we have a call to action. Now, if we're gonna take a look at specifically, what's super important, the body itself, which determines the conversion rate of the ad, not the CPC. The body is actually the length of the body and the content of the body, and all these things will actually determine not the CPC, but the conversion rate. Okay, really important to remember and to understand. Now, if you look at these things, it's not a coincidence, right, that we have exactly these 5 awareness stages, awareness levels that apply to all these things. Therefore, right, and just to walk you through, obviously, what I mean with this, imagine the story, right? The stories, if you tell a story, if you have to tell a story to get someone to be interested in the first place, or to have them listen to you in the first place, then it's probably a pretty unaware person. Right? Storytelling is a mechanism which you do whenever you speak to people that have no clue, that woke up this morning and have no clue that they even have a problem in the first place. Now, obviously, you break down the problem and the problem with other solutions for problem-aware people. Whenever you get into your solution and explain the mechanism, really just tell why and how it really is better than the rest, that is for solution-aware people. If you talk about your specific brand, how it separates from other people, other competitors selling the same solution, then you're talking to product aware people. And then if you just talk about the offer, basically you're at the most aware stage. And just after that, there's the call to action. However, the most important part that you can get, that you basically take from this, and this is actually super important, you can skip to the stage where I've based off the awareness stage of your hook. Meaning, I'll give an example, right? Let's say your hook is actually talking about the product, okay? Let's say it's a super classic us versus them type of comparison hook. Let's say you name your competitors by the name and say, hey, this is why people are switching from this to this, right? And then you actually talk about same solution. You talk to product-aware people, but essentially what you do is you compare, okay? Now, obviously, you don't have to tell another story. You don't have to tell the problem. You don't have to explain your solution. You can get right into actually telling why people are switching to your solution. So why the product aware, and then product aware, offer, so most aware, and then just call to action. Boom, that's it. Meaning the ad is significantly shorter, right? So still has a significantly higher conversion rate, but also a higher CPC, because there's not a lot of people in that market that are that product aware. Right? Another example would be this, right? Let's say your hook is problem aware, very classic problem call out hook. And the whole point of the hook, for example, is, let's say, call it, let's say you call it like, if you struggle with problem XYZ, obviously then in that case, you don't need to tell another story. The story, like this section here that you see right here, story, problem, solution, product, offer, you only significantly, this is really important actually, you only really do this for completely unaware hooks. So when your hook speaks to literally everyone, that's how you kind of want to warm up people with the story. And so how you can track how well you've done this once you're running these ads is basically with the drop-offs. So there's always a drop off on your video ads, meaning you have your hook rates, like basically 3-second video plays divided by impressions. So how many percent of people are actually still watching at the end of the hook, first 3 seconds. Then we have the 25% video views, meaning how many percent of people that are, watching the ad of the impressions are actually watching the first fourth, then 50%, 75%, and then obviously 100%, which is the pitch rate, right? And the drop off between each of these steps should be around, I always say like half, right? So from hook to 25, it should be exactly max the half of it in the drop off. Meaning, let's say you have a 40% hook rate, then your 25% video views should be at least at 20%. And then the 50 should be at least at 10%. And then the 75 should be at least at 5%, right? And this is how you can track and measure if you've done this scripting part the right way. Because if the drop off is too big, then all you know, okay, there's something going wrong here. And specifically what's going wrong is I need to add in more, okay? Not less of the script. And this is a big misconception. A lot of people think when they have a too big drop off, oh, I was yapping about this too long. No, what's actually the case is you haven't talked about a specific section enough. And this is especially noticeable if you have a good hook rate and then have a very bad 25% video views. If the drop off, let's say bigger than half, maybe only a third of people are still watching, then you know you skipped too much. Meaning a lot of people do this actually, this is a big mistake, is they have like a super unaware or problem aware hook, and then you get immediately into explaining why your solution is good. But you skip the story and the problem section, right? Meaning the people that are watching this and think, oh, okay, what is this about? I wasn't here for this, right? And then they just keep scrolling. And this is why your drop-offs are too crazy. So the learning that you can take from this, if you notice your drop-offs between the numbers are actually too big or bigger for, you need them to be just like lowered. You need to have better retention in order to scale, in order to have better conversion rates and better CTRs, then you know you actually have to add in stuff into your script to make it longer. These things are going to make your ad longer. They're going to be disqualifiers, meaning they're going to basically increase the CPC. However, also massively increase the conversion rate. And that is the main purpose of this, right? Keep this in mind. And this is actually the first thing I want to break down here because it's really powerful. Second thing here actually is whenever people then start listing out problems, and this is when they start to understand, okay, I actually need to tell a story. I actually need to talk about the problem, blah, blah, blah. Then they just start listing problems. And so you see this in the very classic VSL script that every beginner writes. It's like, okay, I tried this, that, nothing worked, boom, solution, right? That's how they write their scripts. But you have to imagine that marketing is all about speaking your prospect's language. Even if you say something on purpose, which is not true, if they think it's true, then you have to say it, right? It's like manipulation. It's like basically telling them exactly what they want to hear. And so what you have to basically keep in mind is use their words, use their language, right? And specifically make the whole script very relatable. Meaning you actually have to break down what the problem was with these other solutions, right? So when you say, I tried this, and before you say, I tried that too, right, which most people would immediately go to, you actually have to say, okay, I tried this, and it didn't work because of this, and I actually had this side effect, and then I got even more scared because I thought, oh my God, all my friends are making it work, and all the influencers, were lying and whatever, and I had this side effect, and, I would get even more scared, and I had this pain, and blah, blah, new problem that was created, and then problem 2. So then it moved to problem 2, and then that was even worse because of this and that, and you have to understand that you have to make your script really relatable, and this is pain digging. Like the more you do pain digging, also the more you can then have these 3 sections in the script. Basically solution, product, and offer. The longer you do these 2, right, the more you can also do this. It should always be a 50-50 split, meaning it should always be, this should be the first half of your ad, and this should be the second half, right? And a lot of people make the big mistake is that this is actually significantly more than half of their ad. But if you don't make this at least half of it, are not going to have a good ad. Your ad is not going to perform, and you're going to notice a significant drop off in all the metrics if you don't do this the right way. Meaning, and the cool part is it's very easy. It's very easy to yap about problems, about solutions, about other solutions that don't work. It's very, very easy to talk a lot about those. And this is what you have to really understand. Now, another cool thing is when you, for example, start to change up the order of how you list out your problems, because that is another thing which can cause a drop off after you figure out your hook. And then you notice, let's say between 50 and 75% video views, you notice a huge drop off. It's more than half, whatever. And what I usually like to do is actually see what was the thing that I talked about in that case and that part of the script, and let me actually change the order and see if that makes a significant difference. And oftentimes it really does, because the second you start listing out more than just one problem or two problems, let's say you make it 5, 6, 7 problems in a VSL ad basically that you list out, a lot of people will get bored. And there's always one problem that majority of the market share struggles with. Now, oftentimes it's very hard to understand because it's oftentimes not what you think it is, and then it's like more what they think it is. Hard for you to understand the audience in the first place. The point is, what you're trying to do is you're trying to play around with the orders of how you list out your problems in order to specifically then kind of increase the retention, because people are going to relate to it more. It's really just, that's what marketing is. You change beliefs and you speak their language, use their words, like tell them what they want to hear, and that's how you really get someone to buy. Okay, now the third thing that I want to talk about in this video is actually the triple diamond concept, or the triple diamond marketing model. You can actually look this up. This is a real thing. Cool thing about this model is that it's a very easy fix, and I bet you're not doing this correctly. Okay, so what do I mean by this, right? So in depth, right, if we just, or let's say on the surface level, before we even get into any specific scripting, what you have to understand and keep in mind is that there's 3 core beliefs that people have before they buy. 3 core beliefs that are holding people back from buying right now. 3 core beliefs that you have to change before presenting someone the offer. Okay, so what are those? First one is they have to understand I have a problem. Second one is my current solution isn't working. And third one is, okay, this brand is actually the best competitor for this. These are the 3 beliefs. Now, I want to show you guys something. Most people are very good at changing these 2 here. Very good at creating a problem, and very, very good at saying, hey, I'm the best competitor. But they skip belief 2. They skip belief 2, meaning they don't actually change the belief of my current solution isn't working. And if you don't change this, if you go straight from here to here, what's going to happen is people are going to look at your ad, people are going to think that I have a problem, cool, perfect, all right, yeah. But then, and this is the crucial part, then they're going to think, okay, but I'm already doing this and that, right? And everyone has an ego. Everyone has an ego. You know this, right? Everyone thinks, at least they think, that whatever they're doing right now works, right? It's going to work, and it's going to just take more time to work, right? So if you don't change the belief of my current solution, the stuff that I'm putting resources, time, and money into does not work, as long as you don't change that belief, they're not going to reach this stage of, okay, I actually need this. This is the most important belief to change, but most people actually, when they write their scripts, don't separate that. This is really related to this on top here. The solution and product section are 2 different parts here. Most people get these things mixed up. They think, okay, well, let me talk about the solution, but the solution is my product, isn't it? Yes, but it's 2 different mechanisms. First one, you have your solutions mechanism. Why is it better than other solutions? And then you're getting into how is your brand better than other brands selling the same solution. Okay, this is very easy to understand, but it's really important to also write this and execute this in your scripts, meaning whenever you change the belief of, okay, I have a problem, after that, you have to make them understand, right, that whatever they're doing right now, it doesn't matter what it is, it's not going to work. In fact, it's bad if they do this, and you have to really make them believe that, and only then move on to, okay, and then this, I want this solution, I need this solution right now. Now I want to know which competitor is the best one. And then obviously that's very simple because you do that anyways. Now this belief 2 here, the middle belief, is actually what most people skip. I was saying it's a very easy fix. It is. It's a very easy fix to add in a part in your script, which is discrediting and taking away the power of other solutions. And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to execute. And it's very, very powerful. All right. Pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you could learn a thing or two. Go ahead and write your main takeaway into the comments below. Thank you so much for giving me your most important asset, which is actually your attention. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a beautiful day.